Hello, my name is Carl, and welcome to middleschoolparenting.com, dedicated to providing parents just like you with information you need to best support your middle school child. Today's session is titled, The Dangers of Middle School Dating. Again, the dangers of middle school dating. Middle school dating is said by some to be a sort of rites of passage, described as one of the most significant social decisions that some middle schoolers make to send a message that says, I am no longer a little girl or a little boy. Their way of letting their peers, their parents, and others know, I am growing up. Parent views on their 11, 12, and 13-year-old boys and girls dating greatly differs. On one end, some parents think it's okay and even cute as they smile and think about their own adolescence experiences. On the other end, some parents really worry about the emotional impact, the distractions, and other risky behaviors that they believe their child is not even close to being ready for. What we're going to be looking at in this session is a study recently published in the Journal of Research on Adolescence, titled Middle School Dating Tied to Dropping Out and Drug Use. This article highlights some very concerning and interesting information about students' decision to date or not to date. A link to this article is on our website, middleschoolparenting.com. Regardless as to where you stand on this matter, you are encouraged to at least listen to what research and those who study adolescent behavior are saying on this subject. Let's take a look at the study. The article highlights a study titled The Healthy Teens Longitudinal Study. The study involved 624 students starting in 6th grade who were followed through 12th grade over a period of 7 consecutive years across multiple school districts, and survey data was collected from teachers about students' study habits, and data was also collected from students about their decision to participate in high-risk behaviors dating to include drugs and alcohol. Let's look at the findings. I think you're going to find it to be quite interesting based on a student's decision to date or not to date. The study found that students travel down one of four paths based on that decision to date or not to date starting in middle school. What I want us to do is take a look at what the research says about each of these four paths. Path number one. Path number one are made up of students who never or hardly ever reported dating from middle school to high school. These students consistently had the best study skills. Again, were made up of students who never or hardly ever reporting dating from middle school to high school. These students consistently had the best study skills. Let's take a look at path number two. Path two were made up of students who dated infrequently, or in other words, off and on, in middle school. These students increased their frequency of dating in high school when compared to those students who decided not to date. Now, the next two paths are considered at-risk segments or again, at-risk segments. Please take a look at these next two paths. Path number 3. Path number 3 says, in this study, 38% of the students who made a decision to date in 6th, 7th, or 8th grade reported dating, listen, at almost every point in the study in which data was collected for those 7 consecutive years. I'm going to say that again. Of the 624 students conducted in this study, 38% or 237 of these students who made a decision to start dating during middle school reported dating at almost every point in the study in which data was collected for 7 consecutive years. Think about that for a moment. We'll come back to it. Let's take a look at path number 4. Path number 4 also makes reference to the second at-risk segment or path. 22% of the students in this study started to date in the 6th grade. These students who started to date in the 6th grade reported dating at every single point, not almost, but at every single point in the study in which data was collected for 7 consecutive years, from 6th grade all the way through the end of their 12th grade year. I'm going to say that again. Of the 624 students conducted in the study, 22% or 137 of these middle school students who started the date started in the 6th grade. These students reported dating at every single point in the study in which data was collected for 7 consecutive years. Now, what did teachers report about all of these students? They said the following. At all points in time, teachers rated the students who reported the lowest frequency of dating as having the best study skills, and students with the highest frequency of dating as having the worst study skills. Dr. Pamela Orpinus, a professor at the University of Georgia, College of Public Health, one of 2 researchers who conducted this study, said the following. A likely explanation for the worst educational performance of early daters is that these adolescents start dating early as a part as an overall pattern of high-risk behaviors. A likely explanation for the worst educational performance of early daters is that these adolescents start dating early as a part as an overall pattern of high-risk behavior, starting with the dating. Another important point made in this study takes a look at what happens when a student makes a decision to date a classmate. Listen, dating classmates, according to the researcher said, may have the same emotional complications as would an adult who decides to date a coworker. In other words, when middle school couples split, they have to continue to see each other in class as would an adult in the workplace, and perhaps witness the ex-dating partner actually dating someone else. Dr. Opidus, I quote, said the following. It is reasonable to think this scenario could be linked to depression and divert attention away from students' academic performance. I'm going to end our session on middle school dating with a few other findings from the article that clearly points to what could be long-term negative implications. Before I do that, please consider the following. In December of 2011, the American Academy of Child and Adolescent Psychiatry reported the following. Middle schoolers and teens at this age are already struggling with an entire array of issues and concerns. Things such as a sense of identity, feeling awkward or strange about oneself and one's body. Alternating between having high expectations and then poor self-esteem one day after the other, or from one week to the other. They're dealing with tendencies to return to childish behavior when they feel stressed or when challenged about a decision that they make. Sometimes worry about just being normal. And oh yes, the realization that their parents are not perfect. And how do they go about handling that? A lot on their plate. Now, going back to our 7-year study and the other long-term implications, please look, observe, take notes if you feel you need to. Long-term impact or implications. Listen, students who date in middle school are 4 times more likely to drop out of school as a result of starting that dating early in middle school. Perhaps the focus and attention is on something else along with other high-risk behavior. Same students report as using twice as much alcohol, twice as much tobacco, and twice as much marijuana than those who chose not to start dating in middle school. Think about something. At a time when children are transitioning from elementary to middle school, and at a time when the focus needs to be on academic excellence and preparation and readiness for high school, the question is this: should your middle schooler be involved in dating at such an early age? Thank you so much for listening, and take time and read the article. Our next middle school session will be on how to help your middle schooler get organized. How to help your middle schooler get organized. Please check back or take time and join our email group, and we will notify you when this session will be available for viewing. I'm going to end with a quote written by someone who had a big impact on our nation. This individual said the following, and I think it is very much so applicable today and to our children. This individual said, "We may not be able to prepare the future for our children, but we can at least prepare our children for the future." Franklin D. Roosevelt, 32nd President of the United States. Again, my name is Carl. Thank you for listening, and I will see you at our next middle school parenting session. Have a great year.